Assalamu alaikum. My name is Rimsha Farooq, and today my topic that I will discuss is agoraphobia. Like, what is agoraphobia? What are the signs and symptoms? What are their causes? What are the different researches? So, let us talk about a brief discussion about agoraphobia. So, what is agoraphobia? Agoraphobia is translated from a Greek word as a fear of the marketplaces. Marketplaces are also called as crowded places. So, agoraphobia is an anxiety disorder that causes excessive fear of the certain situations. Some people may even resist leaving home. Like people with agoraphobia are usually very anxious about having a panic attack in the public places. People with agoraphobia may avoid the situations. Situations are like being alone outside of from their homes, traveling in a car, bus, or airplanes, or having any crowded areas like grocery shops or any cinema, etc. And there's certain situations like if they are going to any ceremony or joining to any a friend birthday party. So this type of the conditions are come under the criteria of agoraphobia. Let's talk about the physical symptoms. Physical symptoms being included rapid heart rate, rapid breathing, feeling hot and sweating, feeling sick, chest pain, difficulty in swelling, diarrhea, and trembling. So if you talk about other symptoms that are given below, first of the symptoms is the typical agoraphobia symptom that include the fear is the main symptom of agoraphobia is the leaving home alone, crowd or waiting in lines in closed space such as movie theaters, elevators, or small stores. And there are also the including symptoms are open spaces such as market lots, bridges, or malls, and they use using a public transportation such as bus, plane, or train. And depression is another symptom that causes agoraphobia. So if we talk about different researches and DSM-5 criteria, so if we talk about the USA, it was estimated that the 0.9% of the adults have diagnosed agoraphobia in last 5 years. So last year it was diagnosed with agoraphobia in adulthood, and if we talk about the adolescent, it will roughly rated that 2% are experienced agoraphobia. And if we talk about the DSM-5 criteria, it is approximately 1.7% in general population. So there is a different theories and different researches and different content of the content of the different searches are present, and that will clearly show and mention that what are the rate of the agoraphobia and what are the signs and symptoms and what is the ratage. But it will noticeable that the females are more more diagnosed, and more percentage of females are involved in agoraphobia either males. And if we talk about the risk factors be including the panic disorders or other phobias like claustrophobias and social phobias, responding to panic attacks with excessive fear and avoidance, experiencing stressful events are also discussed before in my slide, such as abuse, the death of the parent and being attacked, having an anxious and nervous temperament, having a blood relative with agoraphobia, and a substance abuse problem and family history of agoraphobia. A family history of agoraphobia is another reason it causes agoraphobia from generation to generation. So if we talk about the brain, and role of brain is very important because we know that brain is our the mastermind that control everything, every moment and everything of our body. So let me talk about if the patient having agoraphobia, what part of the brain is affected and how their functioning are affected also. So this disorder is affected the brain functioning. So there are the two part of the brain that will be described here. But the first one is amygdala, and the second one is later prefrontal cortex. So amygdala is the core of the neural system for processing the fearful and threatening stimuli that are including the function of the detection of the threat and activations of an appropriate fear related to behavior in the responses of threatening or dangerous stimuli. So if the threatening situations and this type of the events are come to the exceed level that cannot control by a person, a normal human, it causes a severe problem, and the amygdala cannot function properly due to the high level of anxiety. So later prefrontal cortex is responsible for the implementation of the cognitive control, which required multiple cognitive processes such as working memory, attention, selection, and planning. So many of these processes are affected by reward, like if the prefrontal cortex is damaged or having a problem, so person is unable to control their cognition, their planning and working, and their memory tension also. So this type of things, a person cannot think normally, planning normally, and their functions of daily life are also affected if the brain are not work properly. So if we talk about the etiology we will discuss the physical factors and biological factors also. If we talk about the physical factors, that will increase your the risk of the developing agoraphobia, like including a trauma, like traumatic childhood experiences, and that may including the such as the death of their parents or having a sexual abuse, experiencing a stressful event such as divorce and losing your job. Divorce are either if they're married, or having a divorce with their parents, or seeing the divorce of the parents. This will also cause agoraphobia problem. Biological factors also including health conditions such as genetically, temperament, environmental stress, and learning experience may also play an important role in the development of the agoraphobia. So if we talk about the DSM-5 criteria, this may include the following steps that will come under the criteria of agoraphobia. If we talk about the agoraphobia criteria, it may come under the intense fear or anxiety promoted by the actual or predicted exposure to two or more of the following situation. The first one is using public transport, and the other one is being open area. So if we talk about differential diagnosis, the first one is that we talk about the specific phobia or situational type. In a specific phobia, the fear center or harmly directed causes by the situations like plane crashing, like a certain situation. If we talk about specific phobia, we talk about the specific situations. But in agoraphobia, the fear centers or where there are escapes is possible, or if it help will be available in the situations. If it in agoraphobia, we talk about the a lot of situations that come under the criteria of agoraphobia. The next one is social anxiety disorder. In this disorder, a person having a fear of potential judgment by other peoples. In agoraphobia, the fear center or the range of situations that general anxiety or avoidance, not just the situations in which an individual could be evaluated by others. Agoraphobia person cannot think that how they evaluate, how they judgment. They're having a fear of certain situations or places. Panic disorder, if you talk about panic disorder, agoraphobia should be diagnosed if all the criteria of panic disorder are met, unless the avoidance behavior associated with panic attacks extend to two or more situations. If we talk about the separation anxiety disorder, in separation anxiety disorder, the fear center on detachment, especially from a parents to a significant other, or from the homes. In agoraphobia, the fear center where escape is possible, or if the people with available in a wide range of situations, they are not limited or not involved in the significance other of the home. Separation anxiety disorder may be due to the leaving of their loved one, or they cannot detach with their loved one, like their parents, their friends, etc. come under this circle. But in agoraphobia, the person are not having a fear of detached to their loved one. So this is basically the difference between separation and anxiety. So if we talk about post-traumatic stress disorder, in post-traumatic stress disorder, the avoidance behavior are limited to the situations that remind the individual of trauma experience. Like in agoraphobia, the avoidance behavior include a range of situations unrelated to the trauma. So if we talk about the post-traumatic, it will clearly defined as trauma. If the person having trauma, it will come the criteria of post-traumatic stress disorder. But in agoraphobia, we cannot talk about the trauma experience and traumatic event. So basically, these are the differential diagnoses, how we differentiate agoraphobia with other disorders. So basically, these are the criteria of all the things. So now we're moving to the treatment. So agoraphobia treatment usually include both psychotherapy and medications. It may take some time, but the treatment can help you get better. If we talk about the psychotherapy, psychotherapy involves working with a therapist to set goals and learn practical skills to reduce your anxiety symptoms. So first therapy that we use is a cognitive behavior therapy, CBT. It is one of the most effective form of therapy for anxiety disorder, including agoraphobia. It is basically generally a short-term treatment. Cognitive behavior therapy focus on the teaching you specific skills to better tolerate anxiety, directly change your worries, and gradually returns to the effective different activities like you are avoid because of the anxiety. Through this process, your symptoms improve and you build your initial success. And if we talk about the medications, different medications are used for the agoraphobia patient, like antidepressant are often used to treat agoraphobia, and most of the antidepressant drugs are also used on the limited basis. Antidepressants are more effective than anti-anxiety medications in the treatment of agoraphobia. Antidepressant are including the certain medications that are included. The fluoxetine, sertraline are also used for the treatment of panic disorder with agoraphobia. Other type of anxiety antidepressants may also effective treat agoraphobia. If we talk about the anxiety medications, anti-anxiety drugs are called benzodiazepines, are sedatives that are limited certain circumstances your doctors may prescribe to temporarily relieve anxiety symptoms. If different types of medicines are used for different purposes, and if we talk about the first medicine that are used for the relevant acute anxiety or short-term basis, because they can be habit forming, these drugs are not a good choice if you are had a long-term problem with anxiety or a problem with alcoholic and drugs. So these type of medications are used for the agoraphobia patient. Thank you for your time and concentration. Hope it will be fruitful for you.